In this live self-defense training video, we're going to talk about the police shortage and the simple self-defense tool that you can take with you just about everywhere and no one can tell you no. You can bring it into the train, bring it onto a plane. You can take this in just about any building that you go to during the week or during your daily travels. And it's an everyday self-defense walking cane. It works as a mobility tool. You can snatch it up between his legs. You can hit him here, bring it down on top, shove it through his middle. Might knock him down a little bit, but there's a lot of power you can see just using two hands on a walking cane or one hand on a walking cane. I wanted to show you some of the basic techniques. You're going to see a lot of spinning in this style of self-defense tool. And the purpose of this spin is to develop callus on your hands, to get your heart rate up a little bit, teach you spatial timing, distance, spatial awareness, proprioception, all those things. You can also use some of these spinning motions to create a lot of force, knocking somebody back, moving them out of your face for self-defense. Hello, Ian. It's good to see you. Studer, thank you very much for that generous donation, that super sticker. But I wanted you to see the simple self-defense tool you can carry with you in a police shortage. You might not have any other option. You might not be able to carry one of these. You might not be comfortable carrying one of these, or maybe you carry these plus you carry one of these. So from this position, the very first thing that I want you to see that you should be doing is bringing it up just by turning the wrist, bending the elbow, swinging the arm. So those three joints will create a very fast, explosive motion. I like this as an opening motion. If you don't have any other choice, he's coming in really fast. You put it between you and him. Even if it doesn't hit him, that's enough in his face to make him back up a little bit. And then you can immediately drop and bring it over the top. Your palm faces the sky, your palm faces out, and then you bring it down this way. So you bring it up, hit him between the legs, maybe in the chin, maybe he's reaching out with something, he's got a weapon, smash that arm. From here, immediately drop, comes behind your back, it's on the top of your elbow there, your palm is facing out, and it's just as simple as bringing your hand straight down. Red Dog, it's good to see you, I haven't seen you in a while. So you're gonna snatch here, and then here, palm facing out, and bring it down. Oh, good morning from Fargo. Students in Fargo this morning. So 1 and 2. Now you can also turn from this position simply by turning your shoulders and hips and allowing your arm. Look how long this lever is now. The farther away it is from your body, the more force you're generating when you hit him with this bar, in this case, oak. Alita, good to see you. Alita's in Europe. So from this position, in your hand, or in this position, you can have the crook out or the crook in. Both of these work in this second motion. Just swinging this way in that horizontal or diagonal strike. And you can hear as it splits the wind, you're creating a lot of force. And again, you can hit him here, bring it back, and then bring it down over the top. If you're able to smash him here and turn off his operating system, then you can win the fight and you can go home for self-defense. These are all for self-defense, self-defensive moves. We're not being the offender. We're simply trying to stop somebody from taking away. Hello, Matthew. It's good to see you. Alita, thank you for that super sticker, super chat. We're trying to stop them from hurting you, taking your life, taking your freedom, taking your dignity, using the everyday walking cane for self-defense, a simple and effective self-defense tool when there might be a police shortage for whatever reason. We won't go into the reasons, but we know that they're out there in certain places. So from this position, I want you to think about simply pointing your thumb, and that's going to pull the cane up, getting it into your front hand. Now, a two-handed strike, you can see I knocked the bag over. So pardon me, I'm going to go pick it up real quick. There's 275 pounds of water in the base of these bags. From here, if you turn your hand here and you step and thrust, at the beginning of the video, I knocked it down unintentionally. I was just so enthusiastically shoving it through his stomach for self-defense that it created enough force with that little step that you take to knock him back. So from this position, the first motion, you can be snatching him up there between his legs, but then it's in your hand, and then you step and thrust. There's a big advantage to keeping it low like this, sticking it through his midsection. You can also lift your front hand so that now your target becomes more the throat or the face, the teeth, the nose, coming through his center line. The question you have to ask yourself is, what are you going to remove or destroy with this technique? From here, stepping and thrusting. From this position, the next thing I like to do is simply turn my backhand forward. So from here, you come to here, and now shove this into his teeth for self-defense, pushing his body back, pushing it just like this. So from here, I bring it here, thrust, turn, push. From this position here, you also have this crook with that self-defense bevel right there. And if you have an everyday walking cane, you can add your own bevel to it. Simply cut that off or grind it down, sand it down. This is a Cane Master self-defense cane. I also like to use, for beginners especially, a rattan cane. Rattan is a grass and it's extremely strong. You're able to hit with a lot of force and do all the same techniques as I do with this hardwood. Yeah, Michael says the thrust has more power. That's the truth. But you can defend yourself quite effectively with this simple, very inexpensive rattan cane. Rattan is not wood, it's a grass. So it's a lot more flexible. You can see the flex there. And it's still extremely durable. I've had this one now for many years and beaten many things with it, and it just keeps on going. So I put a link below for these two, and then for that philosophy, that basic idea behind self-defense, the strategies involved, the principles that come from the book by Tim Larkin, When Violence is the Answer. I'll say one thing real quick. It's one of my favorite books. I've reread it. Every time I reread it, I pick up something I missed the first time. So it's one of those books you'll get and you can read again and again and again. And every time you read it, you're going to discover more things that maybe you didn't understand the first time, and then you'll add it. Craig asked, can you add a point to the tip? You see this one's finally starting to bite the dust. You can. What I would recommend is you can get the fennels, I think that's what they call them, that go on the end that make it more effective for self-defense, but also more effective at gripping the floor. Now, you wouldn't want to modify your cane for the purpose of hurting somebody. These are all simple modifications that allow you to use it as a mobility device, but because it is a self-defense cane, they do have features that allow you to defend yourself with it. So we're not being offensive. This is not an offensive tool, not an offensive weapon. This is a self-defense tool. But this is a little bit pricier. This is a very inexpensive cane. It's on that first link, the Cane Master's website. And this is also Cane Master's cane. And this Cane Master's cane has a lot more features, like this nice wrist strap. You can keep it in your hand, keep them from pulling it out. If it does leave your hand, keep it on your thumb like that. But this grip here, this paracord, the 540 cord, I think that's what we call it. It's been so long since I was in. But that keeps it in your hand in case it gets sweaty or bloody for self-defense. You never know. But that crook right there, that's the key to removing skin or nose, maybe the eye, the teeth for self-defense. All effective self-defense moves. Yeah, Candace says, Semper Fi. Amen. Semper Fi. We're doing our, at the school, I run the security, and then I have a cadet corps, and I teach a bunch of classes. We have a Veterans Day celebration coming up. And, oh yeah, Studer says, get the ice cleat. You can do that and folds it up indoors. Perfect, that's a great idea. And especially if you live in Fargo, you're gonna need the ice cleat. You're gonna need something to help you walk on the ice when it's icy and snowy. But our celebration is on the 10th, which, as you know, is also the Marine Corps birthday. So we got to celebrate Veterans Day and the Marine Corps birthday twice, or two celebrations the same day. All right, so we were saying, get in that front end, thrust through his body, shove it through his teeth for self-defense, and then you've got that crook. You can simply, by turning your shoulders and hips, ripping your hands over, create more self-defense power by ripping the teeth out. They may not ship to Canada. Canada just banned these. Any blade that you can open with one hand that has a flipper on it, and I forget what they call it, has been banned, which blows my mind, but not surprising. It's upsetting as you watch the world go more and more in this direction of taking away the rights from law-abiding citizens like ourselves and give them more and more to the criminals. That makes sense. But anyway, I have not seen the elephant cane was the question. Put that in the description below or in the comment section below. A link to that. I'd love to go see that. All right, so I hit him here, you thrust through here, you shove here, and then you simply turn and rip with that bevel. Now, these aren't all the techniques. These are just very few that you can do. I want you to see also that you can carry the crook facing you, facing away from you, facing the bad guy for self-defense. And again, you do all these same techniques, ripping. You can also whip it up into this position from here to here. It's on the floor. You rip. Then that's one of the purposes of all that spinning. Good afternoon, Garen. It's good to see you. You get the callus on your hand, which allows the cane to slide through and get into a more effective position. Now from here, I like to turn it into that back hand by simply turning your palm up. Get into the back hand. Two hands are always better than one when it comes to self-defense. Step and thrust. But you might, we all know two hands are better than one. You might not be able to use two hands because you might have one cane for mobility. In other words, you had no canes, you'd fall on the floor. So you have to lean on your one cane. You can still effectively defend yourself with that other cane. Now, the obvious, I don't know if it's obvious, one of the comments that I get a lot on this channel is that because of the size of me and my fitness, perceived fitness level, because I'm probably not as fit as most people think, but not as fit as I'd like to be. There's always room for improvement, right? That one, I don't need a cane. And my answer to that is if you saw the x-rays of my hips, you would understand that because I'm so stubborn and won't go get a hip replacement, that the cane is very helpful on days like this weekend after hard work, after a long work of 80 hours, or week of 80 hours work, then my hips don't move as well. And so the cane does help. So yes, I do use it from time to time. And number two, that because I'm bigger, I can hit harder. But it's not about the size. It's not about your size, it's not about my size. It's about technique. If I'm relying on arm muscle, I can do a lot because I do a lot of push-ups. I do a lot of exercise. I do pull-ups all day long. So I can hit harder with my arm muscles, but I'm not using the arm. I don't want you to use the arm. I want you to use your hip by turning it just a little bit, and by turning the shoulder, allow that motion to act like a whip to bring it up. It's not your arm lifting, it's your body turning. And then your body turns back and then comes around. Now it's not your arm swinging, it's your body and your body. And that takes a lot of practice, and you can do that. The second thing is, if you get it here and you step and push, again, it's not the strength of your arm, it's the weight of your body. If you add that step while you keep this here into your body, in other words, don't push it forward, keep it next to your body, step in with it, now you're generating a lot more power because you might weigh enough, and that allows you to move forward. Yeah, Edge says it's like golf. It's nothing to do with your arm strength, your shoulder strength. Those things will help, and you can improve those with a band. I'll show you the band. You can improve them with the band, but it's not 100% necessary. In other words, you might not have the strength that you need or that you think you need, but you have the ability to still generate a lot of power with small motions using good technique. It might take you a while to figure it out, but you'll get there if you don't quit. Now, using this band, this is a thick band. I recommend starting with a much thinner band. Just happened to be on the floor, easy to pick up because I used it this morning with one of my online sessions. So here, I put it in front of the body. I'm gonna grab it back here and push. Yeah, Ian says like sword technique always beats muscle. So many things are like that. When you study martial arts for as long as a lot of us have, you learn in boxing. Boxing is a great example. The bigger you are in boxing, that doesn't mean anything. The better technique you have in boxing, that means everything. You have better technique than the other guy. Doesn't matter if he's bigger, stronger, faster, younger, went to a better school, drives a nicer car, lives in a bigger house. None of that matters. What matters is what's in here and what's in here and what you learn how to do with that. So don't get hung up on this idea that someone bigger than you is going to hurt you. Not necessarily. You can knock somebody out and be half their size and twice their age with proper technique. Now these are just push-ups that I do in a standing position. I like to go straight. I'll have you push down, activate the lower part of your chest. I'll have you push up, I'll have it bring it to your forehead, activate the triceps in the back of the arm, put that band under your bum. And this band is extremely inexpensive. You get a whole gym for less than 20 bucks. And I put a link to these below too. They're just called resistance bands. You sit on it, and then you curl. Curling activates your triceps. You can throw it, or your biceps. Throw it on the floor, step your feet into it. You can curl this way. You can bring it in and press up. Again, I would start with a lighter band. This one's getting heavier for that. That'll hit your shoulders, that'll hit your upper chest, that'll activate your stomach. Everything for less than 20 bucks and a good, sturdy self-defense cane. This dojo cane doesn't cost that much. You can also do it with your rattan cane. But I wanted you to see from this position, you pop it up, thrust it right into his nose, turn it to the back hand. You can rake, you can chop with it, you can shove with two hands here. You reach in, you can snatch him down this way. If he grabs your cane, you're gonna twist and shove that straight into his face. All of a sudden, he grabs it. Now you're smashing it in this way. That's just with a twist and push. When you twist and push, lean into it a little bit. Just a little bit is all you need, and then shove them off. All that stuff works really well with this cane. I'm gonna have one of my students in again this week. When my student comes in this week, I'll have him demonstrate for you. I'll grab his cane so you can see it doesn't have anything to do with size. He's half my size. He can now get it into this position, smash it in my face, and rip it out of my hands if he does it explosively and very fast, which is the same thing that you're gonna be able to do when you practice. Studer, Alita, thank you again for those super stickers. And I thank you for everybody who comes on and gives me the super thanks. I think that's what it's called, or the thanks button. You hit the thanks button and then it makes a nice contribution to this virtual dojo. You're the only reason that I'm still able to keep the lights on. The online members, you guys are as important as I just don't have anybody coming in anymore. The world keeps changing, and so it's I appreciate very much when you guys make these contributions and make it possible for me to work with you and see you guys online. I've got to go teach more classes over at the kids' school. Then I'm back here for a bunch more classes tonight. And then hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow. Oh yeah, Michael says I hit 126,000. Yeah, we have 126,000 on this YouTube channel. I think the Facebook is up to about the same, maybe a little bit more. But I much more enjoy working with you guys on the YouTube. No offense to Facebook, I like you Facebook guys too. But YouTube is always gonna be the one that I spend the most time on for now, until I say the wrong thing and they kick me off too. Anyway, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you.